Hello, clever people, and welcome to my review for Collateral Beauty. This film stars Will Smith, Keira Knightley, Edward Norton, Helen Mirren, and Kate Winslet. It stars many people, and this was said to be a film that was going for some Oscars. Obviously, just by the talent involved, but also the premise to the movie was very, dramatic, and typically the Oscars like to nominate films that are very dramatic. It's just, the type of films that they enjoy. And from the beginning, I was a bit skeptical about this movie. I didn't know about it. I thought that it looked a bit preachy, a bit pretentious, and a bit like it was trying too hard to be this great, excellent movie. So this movie revolves around the premise of a man. This man's name is Howard, played by Will Smith, and it's about him losing his daughter. It affects him deeply. He goes through a lot of issues because of it, and it's about how his friends try to help him cope with that in the best of ways and in the worst of ways. So this film, I personally believed, was very terribly marketed. It was said to be this film about, special beings from above helping this man, and really that's not what it was about. It was about the connections that his friends made from trying to help him by hiring these actors to go and talk to him, just to try to heal him, and then from first going to a good intention onto a bad intention when they want to edit him out to make it look like he's the one going insane. So Collateral Beauty is a film I was not excited for. Obviously, I already said I thought it looked a bit pretentious, and the reviews came out saying exactly what I thought, that the movie was very pretentious, thought it was too good when it wasn't. And all in all, I didn't hate Collateral Beauty that much. It's not a good movie. It's a bad one, but it's not the worst one that I've seen. It's not this terrible, awful movie that I could never watch again. It's not like that. It's a bad movie that just sort of exists. Every once in a while you get a movie that isn't really good, it's kind of bad, but not necessarily all the way. That's what Collateral Beauty is. As far as goods go with this movie, I do like that this movie does try. They go with a lot of the heavy themes, a lot of themes about forgiveness and etc. And these themes were very much in your face, but I like that they approached them. They were themes that were worthy, and themes that probably should have been put on screen, and themes that really did fit with the movie. It's just the execution of them did come off a bit pretentious. As far as the bads go, that's really my only good, because I do have a lot of bads for this movie. Again, not the worst movie, but there are a lot of issues with it. For one, it feels very much like a Hallmark movie. From the acting, to the way it's shot, to the way that it just feels, to the direction, to the writing, everything in this movie feels like a pretentious, preachy Hallmark movie. And, that's really due to the other subplots. Howard's subplot, his, main thing is what the movie's marketed as, is really well done. I enjoyed it when they were focusing purely on Howard. You got a lot from him, and though they did put a twist at the end that was pretty predictable about him, you still did have that really enjoyable time where it was just him, talking to people or something like that. Those were the well done scenes. But the scenes where it started to feel like Hallmark movies were the ones between Edward Norton and his little girl, or Edward Norton and Keira Knightley, or Kate Winslet and the person that the person impersonating time, or Michael Pena and Helen Mirren. Those people and their subplots just felt very preachy, like they were shoving a message down your throat. And what's difficult is that an hour of that movie, of Collateral Beauty, is focused purely on those subplots. When you focus on Howard, you get a good movie, just a generally good movie. But when you don't, you focus on these characters that are unlikable because they do these devilish things, and you're supposed to suddenly care for them, and you absolutely don't, because the movie gives you no reason to. What happens a lot in this movie, too, is that it tends to meander. Again, the main storyline is Howard. That's what this movie really should have focused on. And when it meanders, it doesn't work out too well. When it meanders, it's really just to make it so that characters can focus on certain things, so that they can learn certain things that will be integral to the plot later. This got annoying after a while, and honestly, I wish that it wasn't included. If this was maybe a short film, or maybe just a film that was an hour and 20 minutes just solely about Howard, this film could be very good, but sadly, they don't. Also, this movie it has a really hard time focusing. It wants to do all of these subplots really well, and it doesn't do them well. It tries to focus on all these connections between humans, and it doesn't work because they rarely focus on any one of them, and when they do focus on one for an extended amount of time, it eventually gets tiring to watch because either you don't care about it, or it just has gone on for too long. Also, these characters were very inconsistent. They felt one thing at one point, they would feel another thing at another one point and then another thing at another point. And they were easily swayed simply by just means of what felt like the script. They gave real reasons and all, sure, but it really just felt like the script is the reason behind why it was supposedly like this. Again, Collateral Beauty is not a movie I hated. I'm not going to tell anyone, don't see this movie, it's atrocious. I'm not going to say that. It was just a bit too on the nose, the themes were a bit shoved into your face, and the characters were not well developed, and that is why I have to give Collateral Beauty a 4.5 out of 10. Alright, that concludes my review for Collateral Beauty. What did you think of this film? Comment in the comment section below. I am Robert Burke, and this has been The Clever Critics. Goodbye.